Hello, everyone. This is Module 4, Module 5, Topic 3 video lectures. This is the last topic of Module 5, and we continue to study materials resource planning in this topic by solving two more examples. So let's look at the first example. Here, in this example, we are producing Z and X. So we have two end items. And to produce ZNS, there are a few materials we need to use, PU, VW. So if you decide the level of this BOM, level 0 include two end products, and to produce level 0 items, first we need to use T and U. So T and U, they are in level 1. And further, to make U, we need to use V and W. So we say it's level 2 items. So as we have done before, when you make MRP, you have to expand them. Expanding MRP matrix means starting from MRP matrices for level 0. After you are done with level 0, we can start level 1 because without knowing MRP matrices in level 0, we cannot start level 1. Further, after you finish level 1 MRP matrices, you can develop MRP matrices for level 2. So we may start with Z and X first, and then we will start to look at MRP matrix for T and U, and lastly we will start V and W. So the MRP needs some inputs, if you remember. What kind of inputs the MRP need? The first one is MPS. In this case, we need MPS for Z and X because Z and X are our end items. Second, we need BOM. So as we already have seen, the above tree structure is BOM, bill of material, and we know the information. For example, you need two T's to make one Z, and also we have lead times for each materials. And the third one is inventory master file. So master data file. And this data include on-hand inventory and some other important information that are relevant to your MRP metrics. So given these inputs, we can start MRP metrics. But since in this example, different from previous topic, all the information is given as kind of a narrative description. So it may be a good idea to summarize all this information as a table because you can easily miss some information, or you can forget to add some numbers in your MRP metrics. So after making a table with all the information, you can easily check whether that information is used or not, and you may not miss any information. So here I want to draw a table that can summarize the information about each material. So we have Z, X, T, U, V, W. Z, X, T, U, V, W, or 5 items. So let me draw some lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we have item or material, and we have Z, X, T, U, V, I forgot one more here, V, and W. So what information we have? First of all, let's say we have lot size. So lot size and on-hand inventory. And if there is scheduled receipt, I will use SR, that stands for scheduled receipt. We wanna write down here. And also we wanna describe MPS as well here. So let's read the information here. An order for 300 units of X and 400 units of Z has been received for period A. This is MPS because this is the independent demand for X and Z. So X, we have 300. So here we have for X, we have 300 units for week 8, so period 8, so week 8. And for Z, we have 450 units, same week 8, so we have MPS information. An inquiry of available stock reveals 25 units of X on hand. So we have 25 X on hand and 40 units of Z. So 40 units of Z on hand. And 90 of T. So 90 of T. And 120 of U. 120 of U. And 150 of V, 150 of V, and 160 of W, 160 of W you need. And now we have on-hand inventory. Let's see for other information. For economic reasons, U is never made in quantities under 100. What this means? For U, the lot size is the restriction is it's a little bit different from previous case. It's not multiples of a certain number, but it must be greater. So it cannot be under 100, so greater than or equal to 100. Similarly, V and W have multiple order quantities of 100 and 500. So V must be multiples of 100. W must be multiples of 500 respectively, and we want to fill in the matrices. So there is no scheduled receipt, so actually we don't have any information about scheduled receipt. And when lot size is not given, that means there is no restriction. So we can assume that it is lot for lot. Again, what this lot for lot means, we can order the exact amount that we need. And again, all the materials, T, U, V, W, they are not end items. So it is obvious there is no MPS information. So given this, we can develop MRP matrix. So first, let's look at level 0 items, Z and X. So I will start with, let's say it is for Z and it is for X. Let's start with Z. So for Z, what is lot size? Lot for lot. Let me make it a little bit bigger. And what is the lead time? Lead time is given in this BOM. So let's look at lead time equals 2. So let's say lead time is 2. And currently, how many we have? On-hand inventory is 40. And this end item has MPS. So what is the demand on week 8? So let me highlight it. So we use this information. And 450 in week 8. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So 450 in week 8. So this is for Z. Now, let's start to fill in some other numbers in this matrix. So we will keep this ending inventory 40 until week 7. So let me continue to fill in this information. Now it is week 6, week 7, and week 8. We have 450 demand. And the first one we have to look at, net requirement. How did you get this net requirement? Let me use a different pencil here. And then we can get gross requirement minus currently how many we have? We already have 40. Therefore, 410 is net requirements. So we can get 410 net requirement here. Planned order receipt. So to fulfill this demand, we need to receive new orders. And at that time, what we have to check? Lot size. So what is the lot size? Lot for lot. Because it is lot for lot, we can receive exactly same amount. But to receive this amount, you have to place an order in advance. When? 2 weeks before, because lead time is given as 2 weeks. So let's move 2 weeks. 1, 2. So here you placed an order 410. Now, finally, what we can consider the ending inventory. The ending inventory, to calculate this, you consider 410 you received, and you are going to use 410. So the number here must be 410 I received and 410 I used. Therefore, 0 amount left. So 0, and we will keep this 0 until the end of period. We are done with Z. Now let's move on. X. X is the other item we can make here. And X has lead time to, and some other information is given here. So first, let's say lead time is 2 weeks, similar to Z. And what information we have? Lot for lot, on hand 25, independent demand MPS 300. So let's fill in this information first. Lot for lot, and we have 25 currently have, and 300 in week 8 there is a demand. So similar to Z, let's fill in this matrix. 25, we will keep this level. And on week 8, first we have to consider net requirement. Net requirement is gross requirement minus on-hand inventory. So here 300 I need, but we already have 25. Therefore, the net requirement is reduced to 275. 275. So can we receive the same amount 275? Yes, because it is lot for lot. So we are going to receive 275. But to receive this 25, well, we have to check lead time. So when we can place an order 2 weeks before, so 1, 2 here, 275. Now, what is the ending inventory? So now final ending inventory is you have to consider how many you have received. So here in this cell, 275 I received, I use 275 net requirements. Therefore, I have nothing left. So 0 and 0 and 0. Okay, so we are done with Z and X items. Now we can move on to the next level. Next level is level 1, and we will focus on this level 1 items, T and U. So T is used to make both Z and X. Lead time is 3. To make one Z, you need 2 T's. To make one X, you need 1 T. Yeah. So based on this information, and also the information given in this table, let's start with the matrix T. So here, let's say this is about T, and the lot size is in T, still we have lot for lot. And what is the lead time? Lead time is 3. So let's say lead time is 3 weeks. And what is the gross requirements? Now, when you think about gross requirements, in the previous topic, I talked about 2 questions, when and how many. So since T is material used to make Z and X. First question, when? To answer to this question, when you need it, we have to look at parent item. If we look at the parent item, T is used to make Z, so let's look at Z first. So when do you start to make Z? Although you receive this 410 on week 8, to receive these amounts, when you have to start to build it, when you have to place or release your order, the releasing time is week 6. Again, at this time, what must be ready? So all materials should be ready. That is very important. But therefore, the demand, the gross requirements of material T must be matched with same time. So if week 6 is for your planned order release of parent item, on week 6, we must have gross requirements. So timing is week 6, but how many? Now the question is, how many you need in week 6? To calculate this, we have to look at BOM one more time. In this BOM, to make one Z, you need 2 T's. In this case, how many Z's you want to make? 410. So in week 6, to make Z for Z, how many of T's you need? 410 Z's, but it's multiplied by, in this BOM, it says 2 T's you need. So you will multiply this number by 2, and you will get 0, 2, 8. So 820 items you need. Not only we are using T to make Z, we are using T to make X as well, right? So therefore, if you look at X, when do you need it? Based on the same reasoning, although you are going to receive 275 of X, when you will start to make it on week 6. So releasing time, the planned order release time is week 6, and at this time, all materials should be ready. Therefore, in this week 6 for T, not only for Z, actually you need to prepare this T for X as well. So here, still this is matrix for T, but we may need another demand. Let me use different color. So for X, how many of you need? You are making 275 of X. And for each X, how many T's you need? Here it is given as 1. So you may need 1 for each X and 275 T's to make X. So the number that must be entered here in week 6 is sum of these two. So if you add both of them, because the timing is the same week in week 6, and you will get 1095 of T's you need. So the gross requirements on week 6 is given as 1095 here. So it may be a little bit more complex than previous example because we have to combine multiple demands. Like here, T is used for making both Z and X. When it happens at the same timing, actually you have to consider both for Z and for X, and you have to add up. After you get gross requirements, others are pretty straightforward. So let's see, for T, currently we have 90, so ending inventory is 90, and there is no scheduled receipt, so all the information is given here. So let's continue to finish this matrix. We will keep 90 until week 5. Now it's the beginning of week 6, so we have to consider this net requirements. So what is net requirements? So since we have, let me write down here, since we have 195 demand, but since we already have 90, what is the net requirements? The net requirement is just 1005. So 1005. Now, question is, can we receive the exact amount? Yes. The reason is, again, because it's a lot for lot. So therefore, we can receive 1005. And then to receive this 1005, you have to place your order in advance. Using lead time 3, let's move 1, 2, 3 weeks before you have to release your order. So 1005. Now, after you receive 1005, you will use 1005. So how many left? Again, you will have nothing left. So 0 and 0, 0, 0, 0. At the same level, on level 1, we have another item, U. So let's look at U. So let me write down. This is U, MRP matrix for U. And let's fill in some other information. What is the lead time for U? Lead time is 2. And we have some other information as well here for U. Okay, so lead time first, let's fill in 2. And what is the lot size? Lot size is a little bit different from others. Greater than or equal to 100. So greater than or equal to 100. That means if there is demand of 50, at least you have to order 100. But if you have a demand of 102, actually now then it is the same as lot for lot. Because if it's greater than 100, you can place that number of items. Okay, ending inventory for you, how much we have? 120. So 120. And then when do you need, U in the BOM? You use U only for Z. So it's a little bit easier. When do you need? So look at Z. So this is Z. So when? On week 6. Why? Because this is a planned order release time here. And how many you make? 410 Z's. So on week 6, here, let me use different color. So let me write down here. 410 for Z making, and for each Z, how many of you need? It says 3. So you need to multiply this by 3, and then you will calculate it so you can get 1,230. So this is the demand. So we can start with this gross requirement. So let me clean up a little bit. And let's say it's 1,230. And given this gross requirements, let's look at ending inventory. So 120, we will keep this 120 until week 5. And on week 6, what is the net requirements? Net requirements is the difference between gross requirement and on-hand inventory. In other words, 130 minus how many we have? 120. So what is the net requirements? You can easily get, this is 1,000. Oh, I'm sorry. So 1,110 is your net requirements. Because this number is greater than 100. So here, greater than 100, actually you don't have to worry about this lot size restriction. As far as it's greater than 100, we can place just the same amounts. Same amounts. And to receive this same amounts, when you place order, lead time is 2. So let's move 1 week, 2 weeks. So 1,110. Now, I receive 1,110 and I use 1,110. How many left? 0. So after you have 0 amount, you will continue to keep the 0 inventory level. That's it for item U. Still, we have more items in level 2, V and W. V and W is used to make U. So you need to have MRP matrix for U, then we can make MRP matrix for V and W. That's why they are in level 2. Okay, so let's look at V and W. First, let's consider V. V lead time is 1, and you need 2 V's to make 1 U. So here it is V, and the last size, let me highlight it here. Last size is multiples of 100. So let's start with last size is 100, multiples of 100. And the lead time is given as 1 week. So let's type 1 week. What is ending inventory? Ending inventory is given 150. So 150 here. So let me write down 150. And again, we will look at gross requirement first. When do you need and how many you need? When do you need? In this case, what is the parent item? Parent item is U. So let's look at the matrix for U. If you look at the matrix for U, the parent, you want to receive this 1,110 items in week 6. However, to do this, you have to start to make it in week 4. So we have to look at the timing of planned order release, right? So at this time, all parts must be ready. Or you can say the item V must be ready when? In week 4. Now, how many you need? The number here, you have to consider what? 1,100, 110 U's you will make. But each U, how many V's you need? 2 V's here. Let me highlight one more time. So 2 V's you are going to use. Therefore, here the gross requirement must be multiplied by 2, and you will get 2,220 gross requirements. So let's start with this gross requirements. So gross requirements is 2,220. And then let's look at the ending inventory. Ending inventory is 150. So we will keep 150 until week 3. And then in week 4, what is net requirements? Net requirements is given as the difference between 2,220 and the on-hand inventory. So I will not calculate it, but you can easily get the difference. So you need only 2,070. Now, if you look at the last size, can we receive the exact amount? In this case, no. Why? Because the last size is multiples of 100. Therefore, you will order 2,000, not 70, but 100. You will receive it. To receive this, again, you have to check lead time. It's 1 week. So at this point, you will release your orders. After you receive 2,100, you are going to use only 2,070. So in this case, the ending inventory is not 0. So here, what you have to fill in, the number is, yes, I got 2,100 and I use 2,070. Therefore, still, how many left? 30 left. So the number inside the cell must be 30. And we will keep this ending inventory 30 until the end of time period. And then let me just erase this a little bit. Okay, so we have all 30s. Now only one left, the last one, W. So let's look at W. So W, if you look at BOM first, when do you need? You need W, again, same, to make U. So here, if you look at W, you need 4 W's and the lead time is 1. Now, the other information is 500 is last size and 160 on hand. So let's just start with filling in this information. Lead time 1, lead time 1. Lot size, multiples of 500. And the ending inventory, currently how many we have? 160 we have. Now, let's answer to the same question. When do you need? So when do you need W? When you make a U. So therefore, you will look at the timing of, planned order release of this parent item. So week 4, I choose the timing. Now, how many you need? How many you need here? Since we are making 1110 U, and for each U in BOM, how many W's you need for? So let's multiply this number by 4, and then you will get 4,440, items you need. So gross requirement is on week 4, 4,440. Now, let's consider ending inventory. So we will keep 160 until week 3. Now it's week 4. So you have to consider first net requirements. So what is this net requirements? Although I need 4,440, since I already have 160, right? So what is the net requirement? 4,200. Let me see. I think it's 80. So 4,280. So 4,280 is our net requirements. Now the question is, can we receive that amount, exactly the same amount? No, because yes, last size 500. So the best amount you can get is 4,500. So when if you want to receive this 4,500 on week 4, you have to check lead time and when you place your order 1 week before. So let me erase this part. And 1 week before, so week 3, I release the order 4,500. And finally, we can consider this ending inventory. So how did you get this ending inventory? Ending inventory is, let me write down here, 4,500 I received, and I'm going to use only net requirement amount, so 4,280. So therefore, how many left? 220 items left. So here, the ending inventory on week 4 is 220, and we will keep this amount 220, 220, 220 until the end of this time period. Okay, so this is the answer. So this is the answer for this question. So we got Z, X, and also here we have T. So T, U, V, W. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 6 items. So we completed the MRP matrix.